Well, the overhead lights are turned off on my layout right now so that I can show you this passenger car. It's lit up by a special little board that I bought from Model Train Technology. Here it is parked at Halstead Station. Now the lights are off. I'll turn them on in a second so you can see what it's like with the layout lights on. There you go. This is a really cool little product. And let me explain what's going on. When you get the kit, it comes with a nice manual and this circuit board, which has got the DCC controller, the lights, everything all built into it. So all you really have to do is get the right size. This happens to be an N-scale board because this is an old-fashioned passenger car and it's short. It's a little over 5 inches of space that I had here. But everything's all set on the board. All you really have to do is connect power here and here. And they even supplied some really fine wire to do that. An option is to get these brass strips and they go on the axles of your passenger car and it picks up power right off the DCC rail and shoots it right into the board, and that's all you really need to do. Now, I fiddled with that at first, but then I decided to go just a slightly different route. So what I did is hooked up the power here to these small leads. But since these two are always going to be together on my track in the back, I wanted a super solid contact with the rail, and I get much better contact with this heavy locomotive and with the dual truck pickup than I could get just off of the axles on the passenger car. So I actually hot wired this into the locomotive. And I don't know if you can see this, but here's a typical circuit board that you might find in a little Bachmann like this. And it's got a LR and a R, a left rail and a right rail, little connections here. This has been disabled, obviously. But anyway, I soldered to those, which happened to be up here in the nose, and I ran the cords down and across and up into the passenger car. So that's a non-standard application. You probably won't do that, but that's what I did, and I'm happy with that. So why in the world would you go to this kind of trouble? Well, this board, it comes as Locomotive 3. It's a standard DCC board, and that means with your hand control, you can actually program it. You can dim the lights, you can build in some other effects, you can have some actual running lights on the back, all kinds of cool stuff built into the board, which I'm really not going to use, except that even though now I'm on battery power for my operations in the layout, I put this on my DCC track and actually programmed it and dimmed the lights down to the level that I found appealing and that would work for me. And as I recall, you can get different light temperatures on these boards as well. If you want a really bluish bright light, I wanted a little more old-fashioned, kind of a yellowy temperature for the LEDs, and so that's what I ordered. Now, with a lot of components like this, you will have indicator lights that tell you the condition, for example, when power is applied to the board. This one in particular has a bright blue LED to it, which is not uncommon for this sort of thing. And when it's hidden inside of the locomotive, that's not a problem. But Model Train Technology, they did kind of a clever thing. There's a little pad right here, and there's another one back here. And if you put your soldering iron on this and suck up the solder, then once you're done testing the board, that will disable that little blue LED, so you never have to look at it again. If you decide to reactivate it, you can always add a drop of solder and bring this back to life. You may wonder why I bother with a DCC application like this, since most of my layout now is battery-powered dead rail. Well, that's because this little shuttle train runs on a separate track at the back of the layout and goes from one end to the other. It starts in Binghamton, goes through Conklin, around Great Bend, makes a stop in Halstead, and then on to Scranton, turns around and does it all over again. So that adds a lot of fun animation to the layout. And there's a light switch on there. I can control bell and horn and lights. It's kind of a limited function DCC. But I really like the fact that it provides that running animation to the layout, and then I can operate another locomotive on my own while this one handles its tasks automatically, which is basically a little bit of old-timer passenger service between Binghamton and Scranton. The lighting and all the structures on my layout is on a programmable little small computer made by Model Train Technology, and they have some innovative products. So I'll put a link down in the description, and so you can contact Jim at Model Train Technology if you have questions about his product or if there's something that they are developing that you'd be interested in. Well, that'll do it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you next time.